I'm also wondering if there is a difference between like opportunities for female filmmakers and male filmmakers.
I don't know. I can't speak on that. I'm not qualified.
Definitely, I think it has. I feel like if you're a female, you're more easily to connect with female filmmakers. And
True.
If you in this film crew, for example, you be on set, and this just will be more difficult for you to connect with male-dominated filming, like film crew, instead of females. I think that would be more difficult. And I also feel like, especially for camera crew, because I know a female DP, she also collaborates with me right now. We work in the same production company, and she also. Like, I think we have like similar experience, because I had the experience as a director is a lot of times I will be looked down because I am female, and you can feel that. You can feel that it's because you came from Asia and you are female, so that's why they don't trust you that much. So you can feel that it's because of this. And I think especially for camera team, if she is a operator, and she will always be questioned, like, are you really capable of holding the camera?
Same in theater.
Really.
If we talk about like technicians, they are always questioned that are you like physically strong enough to do all those jobs.
That's quite horrible.
Dang. Is that in like film, or is that like
film? I think.
Okay. Do you feel like that translates out to like broader, like more like the digital content space and things like that?
I'm not sure, because I don't have that much experience in commercial or like content create.
Okay.
But for film industry, it's definitely like this. To be honest, I still feel like even though it has more female came into this industry, but still this industry has been most likely like male lead. So it will be quite hard for the female to connect with each other.
Okay.
And also this industry is based on, the connection between people. And if we work with you and they can start trust you. So that's how we get job, I think.
I don't know, like if you talk about like digital platforms or content creation, I think somehow maybe women can get more opportunities.
Do you think so?
I still think it's less. Just from what I witnessed, it's definitely less.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, I think looking at content creation specifically, in theory, the baseline of you being able to become a content creator and make whatever you want for social media is you should have a phone. A phone can handle all your pre-production. You can do all the planning on a phone. You can shoot everything, handle all the production on a phone. You can even handle post-production and distribution all from a phone. And anyone can set up a YouTube account, Instagram account, whatever you want. But like we look at the kind of people who are making careers from these platforms, especially here in the West, and it's not representative of the entire population. It's still going to be the rich middle class, white middle class, especially male white middle class, who are going to be the ones who are most subscribed. Like you look at some of the biggest content creators on the internet, you got like Mr. Beast, you've got Logan Paul, Jake Paul, and and they grew up stupidly rich. When the baseline should be literally anyone. I think we are seeing a shift. We are definitely seeing a shift of like I go on the explore page on Instagram, and you see like a mixture of people, different genders, different races, and I think it's really nice and refreshing. But it's still a problem. Like when I'm wearing my more content creator hat and I get invited to like PR events, I still very much notice I'm their diversity card. You know, I'm a token invite a lot of the time. I know that because I'm not huge on social media. As I think the technical term most marketing agencies would use is I'm a micro influencer. That's not a reference to my height, but it's, you know, when I turn up, I'll always see like a bunch of white people who I don't know of but have large followings, and then there'll be me, maybe another Asian, and then there'll be like a few black content creators, and I'll converse with like some of the other people who are ethnic minorities, and they always say like, oh yeah, I have a few thousand on Instagram. And I'm just like, okay, so we were just like, were you also invited last minute? Yeah, it happens a lot. It happens a lot.
That's a funny shit.
Yeah,
That's a funny shit.
it's definitely happened a lot, but I think it's definitely changing. Like in the time that I've been doing it, which has been like over half my life now, I've noticed social media change a lot, and it's not just the rich white boys making it on there. But definitely on set, I notice like there's a lot of that. Like if I ever work with a female DP, I notice like just strange judgment or sometimes comments being said to them. And yeah, that's still very much abundant. Even me, like when I first started out and when I first started getting into the industry, I used to work a lot in camera as a trainee. And I, just as a smaller guy, as a guy who's 5'6", I'd get questions a lot if I could like, can you handle that? Can you handle carrying that up the stairs? For me, going into the film industry, seeing how white crews were, was a bit jarring, a little bit jarring. And I definitely felt like there have been times where I've been brought onto a production as a diversity quota.
I do sometimes get that energy of, oh, hello, it's that crew.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, dear boy, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I'm just like, look, this is not like I don't know you, man. I have gone to schools where that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, no, sometimes I'm like, oh, no, it's still a bit wild. Like, you think of it as like a cliche, and the real life couldn't possibly be that cliche.
Yeah.
But then you're there, and you're like, it kind of sort of is a little bit, isn't it? Look, it's not like everyone's horrible. They're all like lovely posh boys, aren't they? You know what I mean? They're lovely.
Boys.
Yeah, they're interested in shit. They ask you questions that show that they've been listening to what you've been saying, and you know what I mean. They like people, like how you're supposed to like people and shit. You kind of have to remind yourself, oh yeah, no, this is real life, and this is kind of what it is. And these are the guys who are in this space doing this thing.
I hope it's not too offensive. Like what we see as a woman and what you guys see as a male, it's different. I would just say sometimes we can just feel the tiny bits of microaggression or like racism or sexism, just in the daily interaction and conversation with people. And people who have this mindset doesn't actually realize what they're doing to a female or like a minority group. I'm not like super sensitive to this thing because I always think that okay, people might have this like good intention when they talk to you, so just don't don't be too judgmental, too
don't be too
sensitive.
sensitive.
But somehow, like when I go back home and when I rethink this whole process, something is not right. I can always have this feeling. I don't want to make a fuss about it. So a lot of times I don't bring it up like personally or like publicly. But when I feel these moments, I think like something can be done to make it better. So I would just say if you feel that it's really difficult as a woman, it's absolutely a legit thing to say.
Yeah, I mean, of course, because I also reach out to other female filmmakers, and every time when we share those kind of feelings, and we always we always feel the same, and we always have the same, like the similar experience that we can connect with each other. That's why I want to have a female like brand company. And it's all led by female, and at the same time we can talk if we do the short film and we do the film and TV, we want to focus on the female like driven narrative. And also we want to do some like alumni gathering and also female filmmaker networking events. To share those and to talk about those, because I think you just mentioned like you have this kind of experience, but at that moment you can't just tell it, and you're not sure if you are feeling the right way. So that's why I think we all need to like share with it, and we all have to like know what's the line, what's the standard, and what makes you feel comfortable, and what's the right way to deal with it. I'm happy to see there are more and more companies are like female lead, like film company, and also there are a lot of communities like Women in Film TV, like this kind of community. And I love to see them, and I'd love to be like one part of them. Because I think those will like literally change the industry and give the positive signal of like what we can do.
I think that would be quite common if you walk into a room and there's 80% males and 20% women.
And also it would be more hard if it's all other people are white and only you are Asian. Because I literally experienced this. I literally experienced this. That was literally the worst set experience. And they're all white, or maybe some are more like, I don't know, but they are not Asia, zero Asia. And I think most of them, they know each other, so
it's horrible.
It's quite hard. And it's become way more hard if you are introverted person.
I feel you.
I think this industry, it needs to communicate. It needs to collaborate. It needs to have the good vibe, to talk to people, and people wanted to feel energy, so then they can trust you.
That is interesting.
I do feel that sometimes I can see that if you can hold court, if you talk, not that that's what I'm trying to do when I walk into a space of like, all right, I'm going to be the person who's, do you know what I mean? But I find that sometimes in sort of maybe more corporate settings, I feel like I'm like, I might have just gone over the edge of what's appropriate, and I'll check in with whomever I'm with. Am I being too loud? And they're like, no, everything's great. You're like, you should be. And it seems to be, if you're basically a bit of an extrovert and you like talking to people,
definitely
putting people on the spot, and you're not really worried about looking like an arsehole. Do you know what I mean? Particularly if you're looking for a particular moment, that can really work well, and you might not have shot it expertly, but everybody had a great time. You got the right things out of the right people. You're very much in the right ballpark of the vibe. I feel my experience is that seems to count for a lot. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
It's just like I mentioned before, I grew up basically almost mute. I was an incredibly shy kid, and I still deep down, I'd still probably class myself as an introvert, but I have taught myself to be able to like switch on the extrovert mode.
Me too.
But it's exhausting. It's so exhausting when you're not naturally an extrovert. It's so like after talking to these cameras and you guys, I'm going to go home and probably not see anyone for a few days. It's just how it is.
You need 1 week to recover from this.
Exactly. And it's there's a word for it. Is it just extrovert, introvert, extrovert, something like that? It's like I'm a part-time extrovert. I have to choose wisely when I switch that mode on. And I it was a conscious thing that I've made just for my career, basically.
Right.
Because when I first started as a kid on set, just really quiet, I'm too shy to even ask a question. I wasn't getting anywhere. So I guess it was just like for survival in the industry that was like a conscious thing I made. But yeah, like even from my perspective as a man, I've noticed multiple times in my career seeing women actively be like, especially if they're like in entry level roles, like actively seeing them get like bullied on set or teased. It's anyone who isn't legally blind can notice, you know, it's such a male driven industry behind and in front of the camera, despite the, you know, the demographic of audiences should be 50-50. I do think it is changing, not just for gender, but also for like race. Like there are so many more organizations and communities out there that are helping people get things. I happen to run one of them called Occasions, and that's for like creative Asian people in the UK. I have no experience in like event organizing or community. I don't even know what the word is, like community running. But as soon as I set up a thing for creative, like we started off by doing networking events for creative Asian people of all Asian heritage to just come together and connect and build these networks. And I barely did anything to promote the event. It just
really,
yeah, because there are so many of us who were just hungry for this kind of thing. And yeah, I think it doesn't matter what kind of Asian, like obviously all Asian cultures are, we could be very different culturally, but one thing we all have in common, aside from rice, is that we are, I guess, really shy. As doesn't matter if you're...
Is that true?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
like we're very quiet. We come to this country, doesn't matter if you're a second gen, and you were raised here, you're generally going to be that good little Asian kid who just keeps their head down. You study hard, get the good grades. You get yelled at, you say sorry even if it wasn't your fault. You know, I think that's universal across all Asians.
It's like when you're in the West, it's more like if you're good at something, let everyone know. Like you need to like self-promote, you need to self-PR. That's how you like.
Not English people, they don't like that shit.
Yeah.
I said not English people. They don't like that shit. That's like fine. That's very tasteless. So it's not very becoming. But yeah,
because I know exactly what you mean with like the nice like Asian boy or girl. It's both like if you're good at something, it's almost your tendency is to hide it. Don't come off as like proud or like,
So I started Occasions kind of out of frustration that there wasn't something already like this in the UK. When like one thing I also think is important for, you know, the UK as a multicultural country, there are so many unique experiences of immigrants, whether they're like first generation or second generation. There's large communities here of people who have a unique British experience that we just don't see represented. And especially in the last 5 years or so, or maybe a little bit longer, we've seen such a huge influx in American Asian stories do incredibly well. And they tell a very unique story that there are parallels with a lot of British Asian stories. But I think there's a few nuances that come from British culture that, like, for me, growing up as a Filipino British person, I don't see represented in these stories. But American Asians are suddenly just learnt that, like, oh shit, we can make noises, we can win awards at the Oscars, you know. And I'm just annoyed that the British Asian creative community hasn't really picked up on that yet. But it is making I'm noticing a big change personally.
I am that kind of person, like one of my favorite is in the video production and one of my favorite is in the theater making world. So it's good to know like all kind of this thing and what you guys are doing and what kind of difficulties you have to go through and experienced. So anything you want to say just before we close?
Guys, follow my Instagram.
What is your Instagram?
What is your
Follow my company Instagram. It's Patchwork Films. Thank you.
Okay, I will tap it over here.
Subtitles.
Yes, subtitles.
Follow me on Instagram.
Yes.
It's just my name, Ray Roberts.
And occasion?
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Occasions, but it's not the English spelling of occasions. It's OK Asian _ London, because someone already took occasion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I quite liked it when you were like, occasions. It's about the Asians. I was like, oh, genius!
Yeah,
Genius. Brilliant.
the best
I was as good at working
best part
as
I've
you.
ever done.
I have just started working with somebody who is bigger into criminal justice reform, which marks a bit of a return to sort of broader human rights subjects. So yeah, that's something I'm really excited about working on. So yeah, that Renegade Production on Instagram.
Thank you so
Thank you
much
for
for
having
coming.
me.
Okay, so this is so much for tonight. We close officially. Yay!
Thank you guys
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Done.